Full trigger. Woo! 116. Okay, I'm gonna need some cleaner air to run at these speeds. I've never seen the right side lifting. That was interesting. Let's try it. And I got the full trigger, but that was not long. We're bouncing a bit. Yeah, 116. Oh, baby. Yes. Zeroed out. Reading. Oh, oh, around that log. Whoa. I think I was going to get the full trigger. She peaked pretty good on the R-pins. Oh, okay. Another PR. Raising the bar. That's got to be about the most exciting thing you can do with a radio control model. Breaking 100 mile an hour with a radio control boat. It's like my helicopter instructor said, if it don't make your knees knock, it's not worth doing. And I don't know if you can understand it, the thrill, if you haven't tried it. Those who have certainly know that feeling. Taking a model you spent months building, all the money invested in the high-end electronic components, and then committing it to an all-out saw run. With that said, I don't mind the building time or the investment in a model. and risking it, but something that gets old real fast is when you're unnecessarily burning up those expensive electronic components. And that's what was happening to me. I was burning up those expensive electronic components with the approach I was taking of, to go really fast, you got to stress electronics. I've since learned if you're stressing electronics to the point you're burning things up, there's something wrong with the electrical setup. The last time that I ran the 33 this summer, I had a major electrical explosion inside the boat. Burnt the whole inside of the boat. I lost the Castle Hydrex ESC, burned up the receiver and the servo. So, expensive lesson. And it kind of discouraged me. I parked the boat for a while, but now I pulled everything out of the boat so I could clean it up, and I've set it back up again with some critical changes to electronics to where it should stay healthy doing high-speed runs. I'd like to show you what I learned and what I changed on the setup on the electronics. Here's my new setup. I went to QS8 plugs. I reversed the electronic speed control the way it was setting in there. So I'm keeping my leads to my batteries as short as possible. I move my battery forward. So there's the total length of my lead to from the battery to the electronic speed control. I didn't have to change the motor wires. They reached when I reversed the speed control. Before I just had them curled up, had the same length, but when it was turned around, the wires had to come from the front of the ESC all the way back. I had my battery back in here, so my battery leads were that long. So it was the length of the battery leads, and the connectors were not big enough. Here's the EC5s I was using compared to the QS8s. These are 5 millimeter in diameter. These are 8 millimeter. I also changed the motor. Went to a TP Power 4070 millimeter motor. 2310 kV 5D motor. Getting away from the SVM series of TP Power motors. I have the entire inside of the boat clean. Like I said, I had everything pulled out of here. Tip for you, denatured alcohol. It's the only thing I found that would clean the charred wood. It's all burnt inside here. You can see a little bit left on that foam right there. But everything inside the boat was burnt black. Front to back. All up underneath everything. So, pulled everything out of the boat. Cleaned the whole inside up. I've removed the stock battery tray. I'm now just using pieces of foam to keep my battery in place. And what this will allow me to do, I have the battery sitting right down on the floor, just held in place with the foam blocks. Also, it's restricted underneath this foam flotation inside the cowling. This will allow me to run a bigger battery. That's another thing that causes stress on electronics. This is a 5300 milliamp hour battery with a tray that was the biggest I could fit in under the cowling. So this will allow me to go up to probably a 6200 milliamp hour LiPo, which higher the milliamps along with the C rating, they both work together, be less voltage sag. Moving the battery forward to shorten the leads, move my center of gravity was right in line with this water outlet. Moved it to right exactly in line with the back of the curved turn fin. Moving it forward to shorten the lead as a side benefit, that should get rid of the hooking or oversteer this boat always tended to do due to a rearward center of gravity. With the electronic speed control turned around like I had it before, here's how long my wires were. I had this extra cat pack in here. Before that, I just had the leads coming off the ESC. Then for 6S, I had this extension. For 8S, I had this extension. This has 2 plugs, Y harness built in. And after that, like for the 8S, I had the battery leads. So way too much length of wire. 6S, I had this setup using just the extension, but way too much length. And then look at the difference of these plugs versus the QS8s versus the EC5s. Believe it, I didn't at first, but believe it, this is a problem. I did purchase this QS8 series harness if I do run it again on 8S. Don't know if adding that extra length will be an issue. This is 8 gauge wire and with the QS8 plugs. Let's talk about what caused me to make all these changes. Money is one thing, but more than that was the frustration. Going fast, but your boat not holding up, that's obviously a bad approach. I never posted a video on when I had this electrical explosion in the boat. It was just a mess, and I was pretty disappointed. But I did post what happened on the Offshore Electrics forum, and I posted my data log. And this guy named Race Mechanics came on, and he gave me some tips, all the stuff I just shared. And I didn't argue with him, but I wasn't buying it. Like, I checked the temperature of these EC5s, and they weren't even 90 degrees. But when he started saying stuff like the thermal mass on a 3-second run, it's not going to heat up, but it is resistance. Okay. Length of your wires, yeah, they're too long. And so when he read my entire post, went through it, he said, and he commented on it. And here's a screenshot of his comments. So he took the time to share some really valuable information with me, and I'm buying in. Especially when he posted this screenshot of his data log and his rigger. I think it's a S Hydro rigger, regular running 148 miles an hour and not having any issues. You got to listen to that, right? So there's my new setup. Just thought I'd share this information. Anybody else having issues trying to go fast and burning things up? and I'm sure it won't run any slower, but I would like to be able to consistently run 100 mile an hour plus. We'll see what it ends up being. Maybe it'll be faster. I don't see 148 in my future. That's crazy fast, but I like to see what this boat will do. Stay together so I can lay down some longer runs. Quick summary of everything I went over and all these changes I made to my boat. Highest milliamp hour LiPo you can fit in the boat. Goes out saying it's got to be a quality LiPo. Milliamp hours along with your C rating, your discharge rate, is what reduces voltage sag. Connectors, gauge of wire, and length of wire. I believe Race Mechanics doesn't even run cat packs. Almost like, well, you don't need them, so is that almost like a bit of a band-aid? Address what's causing it, the high ripple current, versus trying to fix it with a cat pack. Also, what's just as important as this information is believing it. I'm a believer now, after going through the frustration of losing 2 electronic speed controls, second one being a major electrical explosion, losing a receiver and a servo. Now you're down, you're not running, you're not getting better, you're not going faster. And like Race Mechanics commented on the forum, he said, you don't want to know how many setups he's burned up learning this information. And I kind of feel like I run into the same thing. Yeah, you learn your setups, tuning, driving, you're starting to get these really fast speeds, but the frustration of burning up electronics. So it's not fun, but I believe now I got a setup that'll hold up the electronics. So next year we'll see what we can get out of her.
Full trigger.